Welcome back, my friends. People are now low-key calling me Auntie K, and I legitimately love this. I really do. So today we are going to be talking about my promotion case and how I wrote it. And if that sounds like something that you're interested in, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And whilst you're down there, please hit the like button as well. It will help me win against the YouTube algorithm. The reason why you should be writing a promotion case is because rather than asking if you should be promoted, you're telling your boss why you deserve to be promoted, your story and your achievements to back it all up. So it's really important to choose specific projects to talk about. And that means before I even begin to write my promotion case, I write down a list of everything I've worked on, be it a day, be it a month, and I do it in a PowerPoint table. The first thing I do is write the start and end dates, because lots of firms, what they do is they do performance reviews quarterly, maybe more, maybe less, and that allows you to easily identify what projects you worked on during that time frame. The second thing I do is the type of project. You may do extracurricular activities like practice development work or business development work. So practice development work is where you're helping the internal operating unit, for example, writing newsletters, and the business development work is when you're doing external work for your firm. So it might be writing proposals to sell work, might be talking at conferences or writing articles. The next thing I like to write is obviously the project name, but make sure you also include the client name as well in this. And then more importantly, you want to write down the role summary. So the description of the role, but more importantly, your task, what you did, the people that you managed, the people who managed you, and the people you worked with. Literally every single nitty-gritty detail, write it out and use numbers. So how many workshops did you do? Was it 5? Was it 10? That allows you to kind of use this later on when you're writing your promotion case. I also like to write down the direct and indirect impact that I had. So that could be, direct could be in numerical measures on, let's say, how much money I sold. An indirect impact could be just building credibility for Deloitte, right? You also want to make sure you always get feedback. So right then and there, when you're doing the project, just before it ends or coming to the close, get feedback. So find the people you want to get feedback from. Usually best to get someone who's managed you and someone who you have managed as well, and make sure you get a quote from them. That is what I would say you want to definitely get if you're going from analyst to consultant. But just to be a little bit more over prepared, I would say you want to write down your promotion criteria. So what promotion criteria are you showing or displaying through this? So it might be communication, it might be, leadership. And then you also want to write down what career objective that you've set yourself this year it aligns to, right? So that's essentially what I would say I do, but you can obviously customize this based on what job you're doing and where you feel comfortable writing. In my first year of my job, no one told me to do this, and they told me really late to write my promotion case, which meant that I didn't have a lot of time to prepare for it. And then secondly, I did not add everything which I knew I worked on because I had simply just forgot. So definitely make sure you update this table as you go along. So now onto how I actually wrote my promotion case, and I used 3 simple slides to do that. I'm going to show you mock-ups of what I did, but I'm not going to show you the actual slides because of client confidential data, and Deloitte will probably kill me if I share that. So the first slide is a quick overview of yourself and your year to date. And I always write a elevator pitch initially, a bit about myself, what I want to be known for, my career ambitions. And if you want to specialize within a certain industry, or if you want to do a specific type of work, write it down now, even if you don't do it yet, because the people reading it will be able to identify what you want to be known for, and they'll be able to help you build yourself a presence in that industry or in that type of work you want to do. I also write a timeline, and I split it between client work, business development work, and practice development work. It makes it really clear, and also you really do want to have more client work, or you want your client work stream to be as full as you can get it. They really do prefer it when you are working on client work, especially when you're going from analyst to consultant or consultant to manager. I also like adding a box on my key achievements. So what am I really proud about? And what, when someone reads it, makes them go, wow, damn, she's done quite a lot. She's done something really impressive. And you want them to feel that emotion. So this kind of plays to the elevator pitch, but is basically bolsters your credibility. The truth is that a lot of people in the promotion panel are going to be people that you've never spoken to before. So this essentially gives you a really good overview of yourself, makes it really impactful, and makes them go like, wow, I want to talk to her. So, okay, so you can kind of see I built a picture on my present journey, but what about my future journey? So I always make sure I write something about my career objectives, short term, so let's say in the next year, but also long term. So, in 5 years, what are the kind of things I want to be known for or do? And that kind of plays your short term ambitions and gets them to think about, okay, I know why she's put this as a short-term ambition, because it's going to lead her to those long-term career objectives that she wants to do. And then I also make sure I write down any strengths and weaknesses that I've identified. So what are my development areas that I want to focus on in the coming year? For me this year, it's about trying to get onto pitches and selling more work. And think about this because, again, people will be able to help you and identify opportunities for you to join some of their pitches, for instance, because they've read this and know that you want to work on it. If you're going from consultant to manager, they are definitely going to be looking for certain things. One of them is metrics on how much sales you've made and how many people you've managed. So make sure that you definitely do add that in on the slide. The other thing I would do is also add a little bit more about the contribution you can make to the firm. So what value can you bring to the firm? What area would you like to grow? And what is the opportunity within the space? And use numerical metrics. So you may want to build the incubator in your firm. So write that and think about how much money can you bring in to the firm if you build this incubator, right? So always, you're basically building a business inside a firm, and think about how much money can you bring into what part of the business can you kind of nurture and grow. It doesn't have to be a new business. It could be developing a business already inside the firm as well. And obviously you want to make it much more prettier than I've done here. The second slide is simply a mapping of the criteria that you need to get promoted to the next grade, to the projects that you've worked on and where you've displayed those skills. So on the left hand side I have the criteria, and each firm has the criteria in somewhere in the firm. Make sure you try and find it out. They have different criteria based on what grade you're going for, so different criteria for consultant to manager, and I've done a couple of videos on this which I've linked, probably up there, which you'll find. And then I write down which project, and as well as what I've done in that project to display that skill, and also write down the impact that I've made by displaying that skill. For example, if I presented, how many people did I present to? How many workshops did I lead? By knowing these skills, it allows you to prepare a year in advance, but also allows you to say no to projects, right? Because it allows you to choose really strategically what projects you should jump onto next based on what skills you gain from that project. So if you need to plug a skill which you realize you don't have, you can say no to that project if it doesn't give you that skill. And you also have a reason backing you up why, if someone says, why are you saying no to that project? Please, when you're writing this, do not downplay all the amazing work that you've done. Everyone is going to be selling themselves, so you need to sell yourself as well. So write down everything, because you deserve to be rewarded for the hours that you've put into consulting or to the job that you're working in. The last slide I did was essentially feedback from people, and I got feedback from people who managed me and also who I managed, as well as some people who were peers to me and who I worked with in a team. So it's really important you get a variety of feedback from different people on different projects, and I would say you want at least one feedback from each project that you worked on, be it an extracurricular activity, be it an actual client project. And I got written quotes, okay? But now when I look back at it would have been really cool if I got voice notes from people, or if I had even got video clips, because it brings it to life. But I definitely think that stuff is probably much more needed when you're going for some of those really difficult promotions. So if you're going from manager to senior manager, you're less likely to get it because, the amount of people who get promoted is way less. So maybe that stuff can come in when you're going for, those really hot promotions. But when you've pretty much guaranteed to get it, I would say going from analyst to consultant, written quotes are fine. Now, some people would say this is OTT, which it probably is. But there is no harm being over-prepared than under-prepared, and it allowed me to get into the discipline of writing promotion cases, which you definitely will be when you're going from senior consultant to manager and promotion cases above. And it also allowed me to think about how I fit into the firm, my story, and actually allow people in the room, which are going to be the senior individuals of the operating unit you sit in, to understand what my future ambitions were, and they could help support me in that as well. It's not enough to write a promotion case, by the way. You need to have those chats with people who are going to be in your promotion panel to get them to back you when they're in the room. And so basically they're already convinced before going into the room rather than being convinced in the room. If you want to check out what skills they're looking for when you're going from analyst to consultant and from consultant to manager, I'm going to link them here. So definitely do check that out after this video. And that's it from me this week. Hope you found this useful, and don't forget to hit the subscribe and like button, and I'll see you next week.